Hello, my name is Austin. My Dash presentation is titled A Beginner's Guide to Making Boba Tea. And we'll start off with an overview of all the content that I have prepared and all the slides. And then we'll jump right into the presentation. So this is the cover page. Why should we learn how to make boba tea? Boba tea has become increasingly popular in the US, with many stores selling these drinks for fairly high prices, as I'm sure many of you know. The goal of this guide is to help users understand how this beverage is made and also offer a homemade solution. Why is boba tea so popular? To investigate this, we'll be reading a snippet of a research article published by Academic Press in the UK. They find that bubble tea represents the exchanging of culture between the East and the West, and also reflects changes in dietary customs. So this drink has a lot of cultural and historical value. Now we'll move on to a separate question. Is it correct to call it boba tea, or is it correct to call it bubble tea? This article finds that there's no notable difference between different names that people use for this drink, and you can use them interchangeably. And this also connects back to our previous comment about boba tea's cultural significance to many different people. Now we'll move on to the actual cooking part. So starting off with the required tools, you'll need a frying pan, you'll need a pot, you'll need a stove, a strainer, and also common measuring tools. Now for the ingredients, you'll need 10 grams of black tea leaves, 30 grams of sugar, 330 milliliters of freshly boiled water, 40 grams of frozen tapioca balls, and we have a comment here. So this does not need to be any specific brand. You can really take any brand that you have found in the supermarkets and it will be fine. As long as it is frozen, it also has an idea of like quick cooking time. You also need 500 milliliters of milk. And once again, this does not need to be whole milk or anything specific. You can use what you have on hand. Now for the fun part, we'll be looking at how to cook the tea and the tapioca separately. So the first step is to add black tea and sugar to the pan and turn on low heat. Stir until sugar changes color and becomes syrup-like. This might be hard to visualize, so what you can do is use the link to watch the video. The links also connect back to the ingredients from the previous page if you would like to refer to them again, and the pictures. So let's take a look at the videos. So this person's putting black tea and sugar together, turning on that low heat, and boom, that's that color that we are looking for. Now for step 2, we add boiled water to the pan and stir until the sugar changes color again. Once again, for all of these steps, you can use the links to view the ingredients if you need to. But the most important part is taking a look at the video clips. So once you start mixing in the hot water, it will become a different color. There'll be a lot of bubbles. Step 3, add the milk and keep stirring until most bubbles have subsided. You see the bubbles are disappearing and there's milk being added now. The color should be very familiar if you're a frequent boba tea drinker. So yeah, once you get that going, you go to step 4, which is to pour your product through the strainer so that you don't get any tea leaves inside of your cup. Then pop that in the refrigerator. So very quickly, we'll take a look at how this works. Just pour that through the strainer into another bowl, and boom. So now we'll be talking about cooking the tapioca balls, which are very important to the drink in my opinion, since most people order them nowadays. Step 1 is simple. Add water to a pot and wait for it to boil. So in this case, there's no ingredient link. You can just see the video clip. Pretty easy. Now we add the tapioca balls, turn the heat to medium. So here's the ingredient for that. Here's the process being shown. Okay. Now we cook the tapioca balls for about 7 minutes, making sure to stir from time to time. And then we'll cook this for a longer time if necessary. And this is because, there are different brands, so some brands might take longer to cook. Once you're done with that, take out the tapioca balls and then put them into a container of cold water. So boom, now you have your tea and your tapioca balls done, and then you can put them together, basically, and get your drink done. So that's great. And if you want to become more advanced in this, you can consider toppings. So in my opinion, the best topping option for starters is cream cheese foam, as it is relatively easy to make and fairly authentic. So this website has a pretty helpful recipe for doing so. A lot of good ratings, and it says 30 minutes, but this is probably an overestimate based on personal experience. So when I did this, it didn't really take that long. And I also used the same videos that I showed in the previous slides. So here's the ingredients for that. Fairly simple to gather. Instructions basically are to mix everything together, but what you want to do is you want to mix the whipping cream separately, and you put the other things into another bowl. And once your cream is done and you have mixed the cream cheese, milk, and sugar separately, you put them together and mix once more. And that's basically how you make this topping. And now, for our conclusion, there are many other ways to customize your tea in terms of toppings. So feel free to explore them once you have understood the basics. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps.